In this More You Know, we're going to talk about PowerShell command line obfuscation using wildcards. Wow, that was a mouthful. Oftentimes, hacking attempts can be found by scanning log files. Some systems will scan log files looking for known malicious file names or patterns. Some bad actors will attempt to hide their activity by obfuscating the commands they are using. Wildcards can be used in this effort to hide the hacker's true intention. So what is obfuscate? That's just really to render obscure, to make unclear or unintelligible. Basically hide what someone is trying to do. And that's exactly what the attacker is going to try to do. Right? And wildcards. The wildcards we're going to use here are the asterisk and the question mark. The asterisk matches anywhere from 0 characters to unknown, infinite number of characters. And then the question mark matches exactly just 1 character. So for example, if we had A asterisk, that would match AA, AG, APPLE, but it wouldn't match banana because the A started first and there is no A starting first. Here in this case it's a B, so it wouldn't match banana. So again, asterisk is 0 or more characters. The question mark is any character in that specific position. So if we had question mark N, that would match AN, IN, ON, EN, 2N, but it wouldn't match RAN because again, in this case we said any character followed by an N. Well, this would be R followed by an A, right? Even though there is an A and then an N, it didn't start that way because the positional value, that first position, could be any character followed by an N. And this is not that. So that's a little bit on wildcards. Now I want you to take a look at this. What program does this command line refer to? It's hard to tell, and that's the point. With PowerShell command line obfuscation, this doesn't give the attacker access to your systems. They've got to do something else to get that. But once they get that, again, they're just trying to hide the commands that they're entering so that they don't get picked up by some automated process or by some human being diligent in looking at the logs. So just looking at this, it's kind of hard to tell, right? Let's kind of take a look here. So again, this may not have been picked up by some automated scripts or systems because it kind of looks like gibberish. But we're using those wildcards to bewilder, confuse anyone who may be looking at it. So let's break this down. All right, the first part is pretty obvious. This is the echo command. So this isn't going to do anything, but this is going to help us kind of walk through. So echo just simply is used to print variables or strings to the console, to the screen. So that's all that first part is doing. And then the $env, that references an environmental variable. An environmental variable is a variable who's set outside of a program. And this is typically done by system administrators or even the operating system. So in PowerShell, one way we can view the environmentals variables is to issue the dir env. So I've already launched a PowerShell prompt, and if I type in dir env : and press enter, here you can see a whole bunch of environmental variables that are set on this Windows PC. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and close my screen and go back to our presentation here. So if we were to echo that first part, right, just the highlighted part here in PowerShell, we would see that this first part is referring to C:\Windows. So that obfuscated environmental variable is an environmental variable that pointed to the system root environmental variable. And that system root environmental variable is C:\Windows. All right, let's take a look at that actually in action. So here I'm going to type in echo $env colon, and then it was question mark, question mark, question mark, T, question mark, R, question mark, question mark, question mark. So again, this is looking for an environmental variable that has any character in the first, second, and third positions, but the fourth position has to be the letter T. The fifth position can be any character. The sixth position can be any character. The seventh position, however, we're looking for the letter R. Okay? And then the last three characters can be any characters at all. So when I press enter on that, well, that tells me that that environmental variable equals C:\Windows. Which again would be the same as if I went out and I did echo $env colon, and I happen to know the name of this variable is system root. Right? And take a look at system root. Any three characters, 1, 2, 3. The fourth character has to be a T. It is. Any two characters, that's EM. The next character has to be an R. Note it's not case sensitive. This is Windows. So lowercase r and the capital R, that matches. Then any three characters. Right? So those equate. And again, we can type in dir env colon to list out our environmental variables, and sure enough, if you see here, system root does equal C:\Windows. Okay, so they're just being a little tricky here with what they're showing us. All right. The next part of the command, and you see these backslash characters. The backslash character is simply used to separate directories in file paths. So we know that this next section here is most likely a directory. So the $S *2. So what does that denote? That denotes any two characters in the first two position, plus S has to be in the third position, then any number of possible characters, and then this directory is going to end with the number 2. And again, we believe it's a directory because it's between these backslashes. Right? So if we switch to the directory command now instead of using the echo command, we're going to try to do that full path of this highlighted section here. Right? We know the first part is going to be C:\Windows. What is this going to match to? Well, when we type that in, the $S *2, in this case, it equates to system32. So let's try that. I'm going to go ahead and just clear the screen to make it a little bit more legible. I'm going to use my up arrow key to save on a little bit of typing. I'm going to change the echo command to dir. Right? And then I'm going to add the backslash $S *2. So when I press enter on that, you can see that it's doing a directory of the environmental variable C:\Windows, and the $S *2 refers to system32. So we're really kind of honing in now on what this command that the attacker may be referring to. All right. Moving on here, that last part. $H, $K, asterisk. So this is actually the file name since it's the last part. So starting with any two characters, the third position has to be an H. And then any three characters, plus in the seventh position we have a K, followed by any number of characters. So what's that going to end up being? Well, we can go ahead and check that out. If we typed in the dir and put in the fully highlighted command now, that's going to go to a command called schtasks.exe. That's our Windows command line task scheduler. So someone was trying to manipulate or view the scheduled tasks. But let's go ahead and try that for ourselves. Okay, so just to save typing, I'm going to use my up arrow key. I'm going to add in the backslash and then the question mark H, question mark K, followed by the asterisk. Okay, so when I do a directory of that, sure enough, it leads us to our scheduled tasks. And you can see SC, any 2 characters, the 3rd character has to be an H, which it is. Any 3 characters, the 7th character has to be a K, followed by any number of characters after that. So we have s.exe. It's an executable. All right, so you can see this obfuscated command really is just equal to this. Now that's just doing a directory. That's actually not running it. We could actually try to run the command. So to run it, we could use IEX, which is short for invoking an expression, or we could use the start command. So let's invoke the expression. Let's actually try to do this. So again, I'm going to just use my up arrow key to save on typing. And instead of dir, I'm going to do IEX to invoke the expression. And here you can see it just dumped out all of my scheduled tasks, which could be valuable information for an attacker. All right, now it's your turn. Here's the challenge. Create a command to launch /Windows /system32 /notepad.exe from a PowerShell prompt. Use the wildcards to obfuscate your true intention. So you can pause the video, you can rewind to look at some of the examples, and no 2 people may do it exactly the same, right? You may choose different characters. Also note that you may get errors when trying to do this if your wildcard matches more than one directory or file name. So you may have to kind of play with it a little bit to make sure that you're not calling 2. If you call 2 file names or 2 directories, the command will give you a big ugly error because it doesn't know how to resolve that. So again, you may have to play with this, and your example may not come out the way I would do it. But it's your turn. Go ahead and give that a try. So in summary, these obfuscation tricks do not give an attacker access to your system. They still need to do that part. Right? This is just a way to try to hide what they're doing from us defenders. These tricks can still be caught if you have advanced intrusion detection or prevention systems, or if you have a diligent human combing through the log files. Again, there's knowledge and power. The more you know, use these tips and tricks only for ethical purposes. I just wanted to make you aware of it. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care.